Just looking at that gold ball, I was wondering for a second there if I could slip that thing into my pocket.
I think it's wedged firmly into the trophy.
Don't worry, I can pull hard.
Yeah, you'll need big pockets.
30 long.
Would it be a case this evening if Santoro's been a little ill of trying to keep the rallies a little shorter than he would do normally?
I think so. It's always difficult for us to guess how good or bad he is still
30,
feeling.
50.
And obviously he'll want to be keeping one eye on the final tomorrow, because the Aces are pretty much guaranteed their spot there. And of course, just remember, at a once-off match, anything can happen. So you want to have that tank nice and full, Jason.
So a quick reminder, with the UAE Royals losing earlier today,
40,
is it a
50.
done deal? Are they out? Are the Slammers into the final tomorrow?
No, not 100%. From the calculations we have received from those a lot smarter than me, Slammers just need 14 games to cement their spot.
Quick look at the table as it stands on the scroller. Indian Aces have won 55.2% of the games that they've played. Singapore Slammers have won 51.8%. UAE Royals weren't able to make any kind of headway earlier today. They were beaten in a super shootout, so they're batting at exactly 500. We did think a couple of weeks ago that it would need to be a little more than that to guarantee a place in the final. They've had their chances. They've had a decent run at it. I think when they look back on the season as a whole, they'll feel they didn't play the important points, the deciding points, well enough. There were too many swings within the matches that they played, and they could have won them more comfortably, and they didn't in the end, or they ended up losing. Aces have done a good job of controlling their matches, getting off to a decent lead and never letting up thereafter. They're strong in every department, and they have led from the front. But remember, it was the UAE Royals that were top of the pile initially after their first couple of matches in Kobe, and they weren't able to sustain that. Santoro has been an excellent captain. He's posted great numbers himself as far as the Legends singles are concerned, and he showed that he's very tactically astute as a captain. Good news is, if he is feeling a little under the weather, he can serve and volley, does it regularly, and of course does it very well.
Indian Aces challenge in a call on serve. The ball is called out. Game, Indian Aces. 1 game on.
That's a nice start for Santoro. One apiece.
Love 15. Love 30. Love 40.
It's a lovely little rally from Moya there. The forehand up the line was exquisite.
15,
Clever of him to cover the cross-court pass here, because Fabrice is a lot more comfortable hitting cross-court. Look, when he goes down the line, it's not natural at all for him. I mean, not that the double-handed forehand's natural anyway, but he finds the one cross-court a little easier.
That's a shot that you're going to be in a lot of trouble with. That little inside-out forehand to Santoro's backhand, he can hurt you all day long with that shot. 2-1. And the Indian Aces break up already. 2-1.
$15 long. $15 all. $30-15.
Shot he likes to use, that little
30 all.
sliced forehand, short cross court, draws the opposition out of their comfort zone off the baseline. Keep an eye out for that. That's a good dig, not good enough.
30-40.
Yeah, most of the easy passes go cross court.
Great anticipatory skills there on display.
Hughes, deciding points, receiver's choice.
Top spin volley, just to give it a extra pace.
Deciding point, receiver has choice of sides. Moya electing to return in the left court. That's good tennis. Chose his pattern of play well.
Singapore Summers, 2 games all.
2 apiece.
It's looking okay.
He's just been holed up chilling for a couple of days, hasn't he? As fit as a fiddle. Got away with it. Second bite to the cherry. Just needs a bit more angle on the smashes.
15 all.
It's been a lack of enthusiasm from Kyrgios on the bench. He's been very much their 12th man.
I think they've had good energy throughout the team.
30,
Even those that you don't necessarily associate with being larger-than-life characters. Marcelo Melo, for instance, D-Bomb, Belinda Bencic, all brought good stuff to the bench. Do have one or two quiet ones. Carlos Moya, Alina Pliskova.
40-15.
They'll have to let the record do the talking.
Very much so. That's why they've got a nice combination.
It's important when picking a squad, isn't it?
Yeah. And, Andy Murray fitted in very nicely, didn't he? Played for them in Dubai, and of course Stan Wawrinka joining the fray here in Singapore. Always nice when you can join a well-oiled machine that's working very well indeed. 3-2 against Roger. Got the win too, didn't he? Hitting the ball well. It'd be nice to see him start strongly in 2016.
15 though. Singapore Summer Challenge in the call on serve. Boscovin.
Likes taking that shot on.
30-15.
Half chance this for Moya and the Slammers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next point is Coca-Cola per point. If the receiver wins, it counts as 2.
Let's see what Moya can do here. It's a risky shot to try at the best of times, especially when you're under that kind of pressure and you're a little rusty because you've been laid up for a couple of days in bed. Could prove very costly. Slammers off to a decent start. Moya leads 4-2. Well, how's that? Got a little rush there in the end. Abbreviated swing. It worked perfectly. That's a better return. Again, it's off the backhand, the stronger of the two wings.
15 all. 30-15.
Nice comfortable holds. This has been an excellent performance so far by Moya.
5 games to 2.
Getting the hosts off to the perfect starts. 5-2. It's more like it. Robbie, just talk to us about the dynamic of the possibility of these two facing off, these two teams, in tomorrow's final. Is there any sense of the players sort of anticipating that and therefore sort of holding back a little bit this evening?
I'm trying to... I think that might only really be the case for the aces, Jason. Because the Slammers have got to make sure first and foremost they get the win here. Which is a minimum of 14 games. I mean, who knows what happens thereafter, what their mindset will be. And even if they are aware of that, is it good to be aware of it? I said perhaps yes yesterday. You suggested not. Just go out there and perform at your best. Maybe get influenced by the fact that you know you only need 14 games, and that might make you tight. But
15-30.
I think if anybody's going to hide anything, it would be the aces.
So it seems to be the case here with Santoro. Yeah, you think about that set that we played against Goran in New Delhi. 5-2 down, I think, wins it on a shootout. It's not quite the same attitude so far this evening. Set points. Oh, that'll do very nicely indeed. Moya finishes with a fine